Hey guys, I am in my doula uniform today because we are getting active and we're going to talk about how to make the most out of this really easy and so helpful tool for labor, the birth ball. Now, if we haven't met in real life, my name is Alice Turner. I am a doula, a childbirth educator, and on my channel, we talk about birth. So if that's your thing too, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified the next time a video goes out. Today, it's all about the birth ball. And if you're wondering, how can I turn my exercise ball into a birth ball? It's really easy. Step one, be pregnant and use it. They're the exact same thing. This is always a question that I get. How do I find a birth ball? I have an exercise ball. Is that the same thing? Totally the same thing. The exercise ball is so useful in labor. We're not going to overcomplicate this, but I am going to break down step by step how to most effectively use the birth ball in labor and birth. Let's go. The essential place to start when you want to use a birth ball for your labor is to have one. Have a birth ball. Now, this is going to sound really stupid, but I don't know how many times I've heard people say, you know, I never used my ball in labor, or I got to the hospital and I didn't even use the ball. Well, here's the thing. You've got to have the ball ready and you've got to bring it out. And partners, it is your job to suggest it. No jokes, really. I'm not kidding. Partners, it is up to you to say, how about sitting on the ball? Let's use the ball. So it's not necessary to have your own ball, but if you're planning to labor at home before heading into your birthing location, your hospital, your birth center, I really recommend that you grab one. When you are laboring in the hospital, you might need to request from your nurse to have one. Do not hesitate to get one in your room. If you don't have one in the room with you, you definitely are not going to use it. So get to your room, get situated. When you're situated, ask if you can have a birthing ball brought in. Let's go ahead and get started on the first position that is great for using the ball in labor. We're going to start with the most common way to use the birth ball, and that is sitting on it. I like to sit on it near something that I can lean on. So whether that be a bed, a couch, a chair, your partner sitting in a chair, something that if you feel unstable, you can grab on. So that is really important. The other thing about sitting on the birth ball is that it is really important to keep your legs nice and wide. So instead of sitting like this, I have my hands on my knees. Let me turn this way so you guys can see. We don't want to sit like this. We want to sit with nice wide open legs. And the reason for that is we're always wanting to keep our pelvis open. We have a baby that needs to go through the pelvis and out, and open is better than closed. So sitting on the birth ball with our legs nice and open near something close, that makes it easy. Something that makes the birth ball comfortable is to move on it. You don't have to just sit still when you're using the birth ball. You can roll back and forth action. You can do circles on the birth ball with your hips. Okay, circles with your hips make some really great noise. Good sound effects there. This is a brand new birth ball, which I recommend if you buy one at home, inflate it and use it and practice on it way before labor starts. It also helps air out some of that plastic smell if you're using a brand new birth ball. The other thing you can do that's similar to the circles, you can do figure eights. So back and forth. If you imagine the middle of your body or where your baby is, and you are going to move in a figure eight pattern. So it's kind of back and forth and up and down, back and forth and up and down. So just get yourself moving when you're on the birth ball. You can also do some gentle bouncing, especially if you have something to hold on to. So let's say we're in labor. I'm nice and loose. I've got my hands up so I'm not holding any tension in my arms. Contraction starts. Maybe that's when I do some bouncing. Nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. So we're layering our deep, nice, slow breathing with our rhythm on our birth ball. So it's a great way to use this tool in labor is sitting. One other thing you can do in the seated position is to build a little resting nest. So if you have a lot of pillows or a couple pillows and you're using this sitting on the ball, leaning up against the bed or leaning up against the couch, you can put some pillows down and then rest like this. So you can still move a bit, or maybe you just rest during the contractions, but resting is also really nice when you are sitting with the birth ball. So partners, make sure you have some pillows ready and you can throw them down and say, hey, after that next contraction, you might want to just take a rest. Make sure you're drinking your water in between contractions too. Okay, so let's move on to the second way to use the birth ball. Second way that I recommend that you use the birth ball is to stand and lean on it. And here is where we come to one of my doula pet peeves. And that is when I see photos of people leaning on a birth ball that is not covered. So this ball likely has been on the floor, and maybe on the floor of the hospital. And so if it's on the floor of the hospital, the last thing we really want to do is put our face on it, right? So if you are at a hospital, a birth center, definitely your home, find some linens. So at your birth facility, there will likely be cabinets, sort of like this, that will have linens in them. Extra sheets, extra hospital gowns, extra pillowcases. So open them up and grab something, grab a sheet, grab a pillowcase, and cover up the ball, okay? Please cover that ball so you're not putting your own face on dirty plastic or your partner. So support people. This is a huge tip for you. If you are helping out, grab the ball, put it on something, the bed, the couch, or whatever, and say, hold on, let me cover it, and then put something on it. Okay, so big pet peeve. I know you're not going to let someone put their face on nasty plastic. So we've got our ball covered. Next thing to do is to lean. You want to stand with, you can't see my feet, but they're nice and apart. Again, big open legs. And then we're going to lean onto that ball. Now, sometimes I see people do this and lean with their elbows. That's okay, but it's not quite as relaxing as if you put all of your weight into the ball like this. You can tell I'm a lot more relaxed in this position than in this position, where I'm still having to hold up my weight. So if support people, you see her like this, leaning on the ball, you might suggest, hey, in that next contraction, you might want to try to just give all your weight over to the ball. It's really comfortable. And you notice that once I started doing that, I began rocking. Using rhythm is an excellent way to cope with labor contractions. So say you're in labor, you're using the ball, you're chatting, and then a contraction comes, you get into this position, and you start breathing and rocking all the way through till the contraction ends. Then you're up and you're chatting again, you're having a sip of water, you're getting ready for when that next contraction starts. So cover your ball, lean, let all your weight go down into the ball. If you are using this at a hospital and you're putting it on the bed, you have the ability to raise and lower the hospital bed so that it's at just the perfect height so that it's the most comfort. If you're using this at home and you need to lift it up more, you can always grab a pillow, put the ball on top, and then you've got a little more height to that ball. Okay, that is way number 2 to use your birth ball in labor. Now let's go on to number 3. The final way to use your birth ball in labor is to get on hands and knees and lean on your ball. And I think we should all save our knees from being on the hard floor. Put your birth ball up on your bed, up on a couch, up on the hospital bed. From there, you can get into that hands and knees position that I'm going to show you. But don't forget my pet peeve, have something to cover the ball when you're in this position. Okay, here we are, ready to go. I have my knees nice and wide and open. I've got my birth ball right here, and I can just sink into it like this. Great position for labor. This position can be done on top of the hospital bed or while you are laboring at home. So again, you could lean on your elbows like this, but if you really want to relax into this position, you're going to put your whole top of your chest and your face right there on the ball. You can also do rhythm in this position as well. So, hands and knees, last position for using the ball in labor. So we've made it through my top 3 ways to use a birth ball in labor: sitting, standing and leaning, and getting on all fours and leaning. I shared with you my pet peeve of covering up this plastic before you put your face on it. And my biggest tip is to make sure you have a ball, have it ready to go in labor, whether you buy one yourself or get one from your nurse. Now, if you found this helpful, the best thing that you can do is share it with someone else that might find it helpful as well, especially if you have someone who is supporting you in labor or you are supporting in labor. Share this video with them so you're both on the same page. I also appreciate a like if you found it helpful, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.